All right, y'all. Fresh off this Iasmine Lucindo Angela Hill fight, Lucindo gets it done. She gets the job done. 30-27 over Hill. I didn't really have a pick going into this one because I didn't know who was going to really show up, but I was rooting for Iasmine Lucindo as far as for the future of the division. And yeah, she pulled through. She pulled through pretty much how I thought she was because Angela Hill, she's hard to finish, and when it comes down to it, you just have to outstrength and out youth her, and that's what Iasmine Lucindo did. Lucindo pretty much just used her pressure, her size, and her takedowns and her ground game overall. But I got to give Angela Hill some credit when it came to her submission defense, her takedowns, her takedown defense, and her get up. I thought she did pretty well in that department. But again, man, like it's that inconsistency with her. Like going into this fight, you would say that okay, she's got the most experience with striking, and yeah, she's the better striker, right? But it's like she fought down to a level lower than Lucindo striking. I mean, she was getting hit with shots that I don't think she should have been getting hit with. So that tells me her age is starting to show. I'm sorry, I'm just saying it really shows you that her age is starting to show because Lucindo was really just putting a lot of basic pressure on and throwing like heavy hooks. Where if Angela Hill just threw out a couple of jabs and nullified, threw out some nullifying jabs, she could have, won like a pecked her way to a decision. I mean, right from the jump in the first round, I like how Hill, she dipped to the left and she landed a good hard left hook on Lucindo in the opening of the round. So I thought, okay, maybe she's going to be, sticking and moving and, pivoting out and landing these shots and just peppering Lucindo. But like I said, she was fighting to her level, standing right in front of her and, not timing Lucindo and letting Lucindo land first in the pocket. So when she step in behind a couple of shots, Lucinda come back with some of the telegraph sounding shots where she making that noise, land some shots. So that was forcing Hill to want to clinch. So when Hill tries to clinch, she gets taken down, right? She gets taken down, gives up her back, bounces back up, but still, that's putting her behind. The first round I thought was kind of close, competitive, but overall I thought Lucinda was edging it out with the better combinations throughout the round. And also, caps it off with another takedown in my, that gave her the round in my opinion. The second round, I thought clearly Lucinda was doing the better work in the striking department. Again, Hill starts off landing some tricky shots, spinning back kick, throwing out some, Street Fighter moves here and there, and just keeping Lucinda on her toes. But again, Lucindo starts throwing these big hooks and starts to look like she's hurting Angela Hill, throwing these hooks as she steps inside and she's brawling with Hill, forcing Hill into a brawl. And it's like Hill doesn't really have an answer for that. So I'm like, all right, what's she doing? Leading with the right hand and, not throwing any, good solid jabs or 1-2s. It was like Hill's mind wasn't really triggering. It was like she was trying to fight for her life in there and not really use technique whenever she would get in the pocket. So I thought Lucindo bagged the second round. Third round, clearly Lucindo bagged it. I mean, took her down like in the opening of the round, and that's where it went. Kept her down in the half guard for the most of the round, and just kind of mauled Angela Hill throughout the round. I mean, Lucindo looked pretty big. Lucindo did look pretty big in this fight. I mean, she is a big straw weight. Angela Hill, she's muscular, but she was looking a little bit smaller here. And, Hill just wasn't really up to the task to handle somebody that big and long, whether it was on the ground or on the feet. Like I said, she was just fighting down the Lucindo's level, staying in the pocket, letting Lucindo get off first, eating these big shots, and not, initiating the tie clinch. Not initiating the tie clinch. And she tried a few times to land some knees to the body, but overall, she was just getting mauled and pummeled in there at times. So overall, yeah, I had it 30-27. I didn't see Iasmine Lucindo ever really letting up or losing around. Angela Hill again fighting behind these younger fighters. Sometimes she's there, sometimes she's not. So Iasmine Lucindo definitely the rightful winner here. So she's moving on. I didn't really listen to the post fight. I didn't hear if she made a call out. But while we here, let's go ahead and look at the rankings. So right now, Lucinda is number 8. She fought down against number 12, so I don't know if that moves her up. But now Iasmine Lucindo might be in a position like to fight Yan Xiaonan if she wants. If she wants that fight, they don't necessarily have Yan Xiaonan lined up to fight Jillian Robertson, but that could be a fight. Or she could fight the winner of Lupi and Andrade, which is next weekend. So that would be a good fight. I think that's next weekend, or I can't remember right now. But yeah, I just think That might be a fight for Lucindo, the winner of Andrade Lupi, or she could call for Mackenzie Dern with that victory so she can continue to fight her way up. But overall, I don't know if I really saw anything special about Iasmine Lucindo in this fight. I think mixing it up was a good thing. Defense wise, I still need to see a few more things as far as like her striking IQ. I still need to see her set up her power punches behind jabs. Throw some good leg kicks. She was throwing some hard leg kicks on Angela Hill, but we still need to see how she measures up against one of the top contenders again, or former top contenders, to see where she goes from here. As for Angela Hill, man, might be time to hang it up. 18-15, and the way she looked tonight, she was looking like she did against Tabitha Reach. I mean, from here on, the fights are only going to get tougher. If she was to fight somebody like Fatima Klein, who's trying to get ranked, if they tried to put her in there for like one last fight, I could see Fatima Klein being the one to stop her. It'd be on the feet or on the ground. I'm being real. Like, Fatima Klein might get a 30-27, but I think Fatima Klein would stop Angela Hill at this point. Just the way she looked in there and how she was handling this pressure, she just wasn't there. I think that 40 was showing up, but that's just how it goes, man. But she's been here a long time. That's over 33 professional fights now. So if she chose to hang it up now, that'd be cool with that. So I don't know. What do y'all guys think in the comment section? Let me know. Who do y'all want to see Lucindo fight from here? Do you think Angela Hill should hang it up? Yes or no? Hit that like button, subscribe. I'm out. Peace.